Welcome right back to Africa Business Radio's on Monday, and Rachel and Winston are still here with you.
That's right. I think we'll have to get into another segment of the show, which is our guest segment. We'll have someone that'll be joining us right here in the studio, and we'll be talking about something very, very, very important, and that is investing in real estate, Winston.
Absolutely.
Whenever you're seeking advice on where do I put my money, I think at the top of your head, or I think the first thing anybody would tell you is, real estate is very, very safe. Why not try real estate?
Absolutely.
You know, the value appreciates. They'll give you 1,001 reasons why real estate is a big deal for you to invest in. But it's nowhere near foolproof, yeah? It has its limitations. But thanks to modern technology, these limitations are slowly being bypassed or reduced to insignificant. And so there are ways where, you know, people can own real estate easier and faster now more than ever, which is why on our guest segment, I will be having a real estate consultant, Princess Akolam. She'll be talking to us about the role tech is playing in real estate. Good morning, Princess. It's good to have you on the show today.
How are you doing?
Thank you. Good. How are
Princess,
you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Is that actually a handsome voice?
Right.
All right.
Don't mind me. I kind of admire. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we
good.
can, absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah,
we can.
I kind of admire guys' voice. That is kind of nice.
Oh, fantastic.
Kind of a compliment too.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you very
Winston
much.
already answered that. All right, let's get into the conversation now, Princess. Technology is tearing up. Technology is tearing up the real estate space right now. So, but let's begin our conversation with the challenges in real estate investing, you know, the obstacles in real estate investing, and how real estate has changed over the years.
Okay, so a lot of us still don't really know about real estate, so I would really love to explain real estate.
Yeah.
Real estate, a lot of people think real estate is just like owning a property or, you know, but what we actually say is real estate is actually a piece of land itself, you know, a piece of earth. That's the way I can easily define it. And the truth about it is, real estate, with the role of technology, real estate has able to go so far. Like, I really mean it so far, because the truth about it, technology is basically used everywhere. I basically say that a lot of us, majority of us use smartphones. So I believe for us to use smartphones, we have social medias and all. So real estate is not more of, you know, the physical. People usually have the ideology as of back, you know, in the 90s, in the 80s, in the 2000s, early 2000s. So it's more of technology these days, because with technology, a lot of people can tend to use their social media and all that. Like to me, what some of my clients or some of my investors, the truth about it, most of them, I don't think I've met any of them physically. All is through social media, all is through technology, basically. So the truth about it is, technology has actually changed a lot of things in the real estate industry. Okay? A lot of things, both the buyer and the seller. And the truth about it is, I don't think any investor who really wants to invest in real estate tends to, you know, go around looking for, you know, a company that sells. The more of deal with technology is by going online to search for platforms or search for people that are into real estate. So that real estate has a lot of obstacles, because a lot of persons, a lot of foreign investors can't really invest. It depends. The foreign investors I'm talking about, just like us Nigerians, most of us can't really invest in other countries. Okay, other countries such as the Greece and some certain countries whereby that limits, you know, non-citizens from owning a piece. I told you guys, real estate is actually a piece of earth. So, you know, a lot of countries don't really like having the ideology that someone owns a piece of earth in their own country. They really don't like the ideology. So most of them tend to just devalue real estate, which they definitely know that, because they know that real estate actually gives a very, very good return on investment. So they try to limit people from achieving their goals, their real estate goals. So that's what I would say for now, because definitely real estate itself, there are a lot of profits. A lot of us know about the profits of real estate. Real estate is not just in Lagos. I can remember back then in 2019, actually, a client of mine actually got a property just worth less than $1 million. Once of the property and it's going for $5 million.
Wow.
This is just a space of how many years?
So you had mentioned geography as one of the setbacks or the obstacles of real estate investing. You mentioned how some countries would not even allow foreigners to own real estate properties, in their countries and all of that. So we have the problem of geography here as an obstacle. And then we have the concept of tokenization. I mean, in 2021, that is like on the lips of every single person in every single sector right now. Tokenization.
Yeah.
How does this solve the problem of geography now?
Okay, thank you for the question. The truth about it is, in real estate, with technology, real estate therefore gives us this ideology of this tokenization, which is very, very important. We call it asset tokenization. Asset is the same thing known as real estate. So it thereby gives a platform whereby foreign investors can actually invest in real properties. Like, they can actually invest in properties in the countries they are not legally allowed to invest in. Like, let me explain it a little further. Just like in Nigeria, I don't know, use Nigeria, I'm going to use it outside the country, like in the US. Maybe you want to get a property there, but you cannot legally own the land. Like exactly what I told you, real estate is the piece of an earth. That is, you're actually owning a land in the US. So most of the government don't really like the ideology. So they thereby give you, a lot of real estate companies thereby give you this opportunity whereby you can invest. You're not owning the piece of the land, but you are owning the benefits and the profit that comes with the land. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So this is where this tokenization comes, because the truth about it, now, if I get a property, if I go, like, I need a property here, and I know I can't acquire this property here, what I do is that I might buy the space above. That's what we call it, like, that's what the companies do. They might buy a spacing out on the land, which they build, and the returns and the profit that comes with this investment is actually given to you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But the land actually is owned by the legal citizen of the country. So you are more like a foreign investor. You are investing, you're getting your profit. You don't own the land, but you're making your profit in the real estate business. So that is the ideology of this asset tokenization. Right. And the thing about it, a lot of investors too, so a lot of investors, we have different categories of investors. A lot of investors don't really like the idea too, but to me, it's actually the best idea, because it is still giving you your returns, your 100% returns of investment. Because the truth about it, you can't own the land, but you are making the 100% of this of this piece, which is the asset. You're actually making 100% of that property. Like, if the property appreciates to whatsoever, you are actually making the profit because you own it under the name of a local investor, which is someone that can legally own the property.
That makes sense.
So that's the idea of it.
Wow, that's a very interesting concept. Like, I didn't see it that way, actually, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't understand this as well. Right, interesting. So this asset tokenization, though, how does it work in Nigeria? Is it a common practice? I don't think it's something a lot of people know and understand. But what's the situation when you bring it home to Nigeria? How can lands in Nigeria be tokenized? How does it work? What's the procedure? Just so that people can understand better.
Okay, so basically in Nigeria here, this asset tokenization with the rate of technology, yes, it is actually accepted, because a lot of investors, like I said, there are different types of investors. A lot of investors just have this ideology whereby they can own a piece of that. I know there's something we call when most times, Nigerians usually, they usually tend to use the ideology of the outside, like the US, the Greeks, and all that. So most of them believe, most of all those foreign investors, they believe they have this ideology because that is what they do in their place. They have this ideology thereby they can't actually access this land on their own name. So they thereby go to companies or foreign investors to achieve this. Thereby, what the investor does is that he just invests a certain amount of money to the company that I need this because most of them, they actually know the benefits of real estate. So what they do is that they actually want to enjoy the benefits. So what they do is they go to a company, a standard organization, or they use a good tech company because there are good tech companies that have the ability to thereby invest in real estate, with collaborations with some real estate firms, and they invest for this. When this foreign investor puts his money, the local investor, which is the company itself, the real estate company based here in Nigeria, invest the money on behalf of them.
Okay.
In 5 years to come, like I told you, like in the because real estate deals with time, we call it time in real estate. We call time money in real estate. So with the time frame, this investor thereby comes if the land appreciates. The investor thereby can decide to sell to make back his money.
Okay.
Do you get the ideology? The land he's in is not his. He's just like buying that same property. Secularization here in Nigeria is actually possible and it's actually working. It's working. A lot of people do that. A lot of foreign investors usually do majority of the buy. We actually term it in a simple term here in real estate. We call it the buy to sell. That is, they are buying that property, but they are still selling back to the company at a higher rate if it actually appreciates. So that is the ideology of it.
Right.
All right. I mean, it's very easy to say invest in real estate. The value is out of this world, but Winston, it's expensive. Real estate is expensive. It's not cheap. It's not meant for retail investors. Not many people have hundreds or thousands of dollars or millions of naira to put into a real estate investment. And this brings me to the concept of investment fractionalization, where small investors can actually pool their funds and, get assets and get real estate. So talk to us more about, how investment fractionalization works and how small investors can get into this space with the little money that they have.
Okay, so thank you for the question. When we talk about investment fractionalization, it's actually this idea is what the real estate companies have. We've all thought about it because the truth about it is a lot of people still have this ideology that real estate is really, really expensive. I do get the point, and the company do get the point. A lot of real estate companies do get this point. So thereby they introduce this medium, which is investment fractionalization. It actually promotes the idea whereby we have multiple investors, coming together as one to get a property,
like a cooperative.
You get we call it like a shared more of a shared cooperative investments. That's what we call it. Whereby you have everyone brings a percentage of what they can afford, because the truth about it is not everyone that can afford the millions, like you said, like the thousands. Yeah, so it's usually put in consideration because of most of the investors that really can't afford this. So this, like for example, let me just explain it in layman English so a lot of people can also understand what I'm trying to say. Now, this thing is whereby in Lagos. Sorry, I'm going to use Lagos in all my examples because that's where I base.
Yeah, that's fine.
In Lagos now, we have a lot of places that are actually developing here in Lagos. We have the Bejuleki axis, the Trace axis. Now, we have a lot of properties like close to the Dangote refinery. A lot of us have heard about those axes, practically booming in Lagos State. So what this investment specialization is, thereby multiple investors want to get a particular property, but that property is actually on the high side. Like most of the properties that are close to the landmarks in these areas are kind of a high side. But if you look at it now, being 2021, I don't think it's going to be on the high side because 2 years from now, I think that should be times things by 3 or by 5 or by 6. But what this thing actually helps do, it helps to bring like a multiple investors, like 3 to 4 people can come together. Oh, we need this property, but I can't afford it. You can't afford it. You can't afford it, but we can afford it. So they come together to actually acquire that property. And the truth about it, the real estate industry have actually thought about it, giving a lot of consideration, because they definitely know that not everyone can actually afford a millions or thousands of properties, worth of properties. So what they do is they come together. Real estate firm, we allow them to come together to invest in this. But once the returns of investment comes, which you definitely call it as the profit, like in 2 years' time, now these profits are being divided to these individuals based on their shares based on their shares contributed to get this property. I hope you kind of understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's thereby, yes, so it's thereby let's say like 4 people coming together to get a property worth maybe thousands. This one could afford 100,000. This one could afford 500. This one could afford 800. This one can afford 50,000. They come together, yes, as a team to get that property, because without the cash, we can't actually get this property. So they come together, and when they come together, they can able to acquire this property. And when they acquire, what the company does is that they actually give them a document. We call the document a deed of assignment. Written on these actual people, with these multiple investors are actually written on the document, like this own this property.
Right.
So once with the amount of maybe shares they have owned, so it's going to be easier for maybe 5 years time. They can really know how they're going to do about the division of the property, if they want to sell it or make the returns of investments and all that. So that's all about the investment fractionalization for the real estate.
Okay, great stuff. Like, you did justice to that, if I to say so myself. I say you did do justice to that, actually. That makes sense. You did simplify it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's talk about new technology and how it's changed the face of doing business in pretty much every industry, right? Especially, with the pandemic, a whole lot of things have gone online, and it looks like if you're not active online or you're not taking advantage of tech or apps, or social media marketing, your business may not be doing the best. So what do you see in the near future with regards to real estate investing and, technology? What's the future looking like?
Real estate, I really love the idea of this asset totalization, because the truth about it, the future of real estate is not all about the physical, like I told you. It's more of technology,
right? And
it's more of we actually call this generation the technology generation. I don't know about you. That's what we call it in the real estate firm, because basically all of our investors, I don't think I've seen any of my investors. Everything is online. They go online, like the asset totalization talks about. They go online. We have platforms. They invest. They put their money. They put their details. They forward it to my mail. I follow it up. I collect their documents. I forward to their mail. So it's more of a technology. I don't think I've met any one of them. It's only like a few, maybe like 3 or 4. I was physically, and I actually accidental meeting, and I just met them.
Wow, that's amazing. Are you the princess? So you've actually been closing deals virtually and everything.
Technology is everything. Real estate here in Lagos, everyone has, let me just tell you the truth. Here in Lagos, I think 60% of the individuals here in Lagos know about the benefits of real estate. So a lot of them don't really want to take the chance. Like where I stay on the island. So a lot of persons have seen what happened in the past and they don't want it to repeat again. Because I have one of my clients that, till today we still talk. He told me something that was really, really amazing. He told me that, for instance, I actually wanted to get, when my cousin was getting a property at Aboyaya, which is even after, he's on the island too. And when I was actually getting a property there, he told me that it was 1 million. I refused to buy. This was actually 5 years ago. And now I can count the millions that he's reading on that plot of land. Like, I don't think you can see anyone less than 50 million or there. But this is the future we are talking about. So with this investment fractionalization I was trying to explain now. Now the property has appreciated. Like not everyone that can afford that amount of money to actually invest. Yes, so a team of investors can come, multiple team of investors, foreign, can come together. Oh, this property is actually very high. Within 5 years, it could give us 15. What makes you think within 2 years or 4 years it can give us 30, it can give us 45? So that is where this investment fractionalization comes, whereby, but the truth about it, a lot of us know the benefit of real estate, and I'll keep advising every single time. I know it's going to be difficult. That's why we thereby try to break everything down so everyone can actually be a partaker of the real estate investment. So we also advise people to buy these assets. No matter what, you can try to buy these assets, because the truth about it, before you buy assets, you actually have to buy this asset. Like one of my mentors usually says, these assets actually buy your luxuries. You don't wait for your luxuries can actually buy your assets. So if you sacrifice these short-term rewards just to get a bigger reward, I can imagine the gain and everything. So in real estate, we say we use your time to make money, use your money to buy these assets, use your assets to buy time. Then you spend your time the way you want. You build it and, relax with that. So I would just advise anyone out there, anyhow you can do it, you can come together as a team to get this property. It's not something that you must say, I must get it. You can come together as a team. You can make share, we call it a share, like I explained it earlier. The investment, but I have to break it down so a lot of people can really understand it.
Yeah.
So you can come together as a team, as in 3s, in 4s, in 6 to get this. Because the truth about it, real estate always is not like it's something you are seeing. It's not something that's like the stocks you can't really see. It's actually what you are seeing.
Yes.
It's actually what you can visualize and say, yes, this is mine. So, and that's what I'll say for now. But also, I'll just really advise it because it's actually needed. It's actually very required for everyone to actually own one.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's what I'll say for now.
Thank you so much, Princess Akolam. You have taught us a lot. I mean,
I like the way you broke everything down, like the simplification is just fantastic.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the show. She's been talking to us about how technology has changed the way people invest in real estate. Thank you, Princess. I'm going to have you on the show much later if I have something similar to talk about.
All right.
Thank you.
We are the wind in the sails of your business. We are your compass. Chart your course towards your targets. Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.
Investment term for the day. Value in